a big local scheme is that you needed to go out and consult with the residents, and then between you all come up with a plan and a costing for that plan, so local trusts could understand where you're going to spend that money and make sure it is an appropriate spend. It's slightly different with us because we started our journey on already consulting the residents, because we had that sense of being ignored, waiting for other stakeholders and decision makers in the past to come and support us. They never did. So we decided once they shut the college that we needed to get off our backsides and help ourselves, basically. Some of the stuff in our community plan to be delivered was the responsibility of other agencies and other organisations. So we left that and we looked at where the gaps were, where nobody was responsible, whether it be the police, education, the local authority, the gaps, what residents are saying they want to fill in, who's taking care of that. If no one was responsible, then we put that into the big local plan.
I run many sheds. Somebody will come down for 4 or 5 weeks, then they go away and somebody else will pop in. Usually they send them up from the doctors, got a bit of depression or feeling lonely. They come up and have a chat, and people will come and have a look. It's not for them. Others, they enjoy it, they love it. They don't have to do nothing if they don't want to. Sit down and have a chat and a cup of tea, and just an outlet for them, isn't it? Socialising.
This was very generously donated to us by a local resident who was unable to use it anymore. When we got it, it was 6 foot in brambles top to bottom, so we had to put a lot of work into getting it to where it is today. And it's part of our Grow, Cook and Eat project. So residents kind of come together and it's looking at growing to reduce your carbon footprint and cooking to reduce your carbon footprint. So we're looking at both elements. So we do have a steering group and we have residents sat on that steering group. You know, we can't deviate from the business plan that was submitted from the lottery too much, but we're always up for ideas from local residents. Yeah, anything to do with like nature, totally up for it.
Now, I'm pleased to say that we're inside what is soon to be Ambition Lawrence Weston's new home, Ambition House. This project's been in the making for a frustratingly long time of 12 years, but as you can see, we're close to occupying a new premises, which has been funded by the National Lottery, Region Communities, the local authority, and from Ambition Lawrence Weston's own reserves and surplus income.
They do so much for the community. To have a build like that, just deserving it. They deserve every bit of it.
What's going to be in here is sort of replicating what we've already got, but just modernised and a lot more comfortable, a lot more energy efficient, cheaper to run, a bigger space. So it's bigger than our current premises, but it'll have the same attributes. So there'll be small counselling rooms, there'll be large meeting rooms, there'll be smaller meeting rooms, there'll be a meeting room that can be divided into 2. And then, of course, there's the sports hall. We'll have the kitchen. We'll have the men in sheds room, all decked out for all their machinery. In here will be the big foyer with a reception, and there'll be a couple of offices. People that are more involved in Ambition Lawrence Weston are fully aware, and in fact, they're directing the design, the shape, how the building's going to work, what services will be in there, not just in here, but outside on the landscaping to fit and to support our climate action plan. There'll be a biodiverse garden, educational garden, to try and educate young people and old people about the benefits of biodiversity and of the landscape. Out there will be a piazza, commonly known as a patio, so a large space to do activities and have pop-up stands and stuff like that. There'll be a space for education, but not only that. When we've been involved in planning, building houses, building community centres, we've also got involved in the new technologies that are out there, especially around renewable energy. So when we speak to contractors who are building other houses, we're encouraging them to take up these new energy efficient technologies and renewables. But we feel the confidence isn't there from those developers because of the lack of the skills and the training. So what we want to ensure is that should a just transition happen, that our residents are best placed to take advantage of that. So we're now working with Bristol University and the other universities in Bristol and the colleges and other stakeholders to try and deliver Renewable Energy and Skills Academy right here in the building, right in the heart of Lawrence Weston, where normally vocational training is unattainable to them because of the distance they got to travel and the poor public transport. So yeah, we hope to focus our Renewable Skills and Modern Methods of Construction Academy here to support those industries in bringing up the skills and talents needed to, meet zero carbon targets that everyone's set.
there's 3 workers that work for Ambition Lawrence Weston. Essentially, we were funded through Big Local, so all of our core costs were paid by Big Local. So everything that we've done, delivered, we facilitate, all of our engagement, all of our events. If we didn't have that money to enable us to do that, then we wouldn't have been able to do anything.
Definitely from day one, it felt as though that money was ours, so we're very frugal with it. We're very careful on how we spent that. So this is place-based funding. In the past, you get thematic funding where they concentrate on a theme and give lots of areas pots of money and say, go and spend it on that one particular issue. We might not have had that issue in Lawrence Weston. I'm sure we did, but that might have not been our priority. But we would have still spent that money, and if I'm honest, perhaps we sometimes wasted that money, because if we didn't spend it, we'd have to send it back. And if we send it back, we wouldn't have got no more next year. So there's a lot of waste in that. By delivering place-based funding in the hands of the residents, because you're a lot more careful, because you can spend it on what's really needed and not on things that you're frightened not to spend it on, otherwise you'd lose that money.
If you talk to a lot of people, they'll say we were always the forgotten community, the forgotten neighbourhood. Funding never ever came to Lawrence Weston. And I think a lot of it is the further out the centre of Bristol you are, the more you are forgotten. Something online, and it was about North Bristol, and it said something about North Bristol, which includes Lawrence Weston, Henbury, Brentry and Southmead or something. And it's like, number 1, we're first in that list. And number 2, we wouldn't have been in that list before. It would have been, other areas, or say they might have said Avonmouth before. But when they talk about North Bristol, they mention Lawrence Weston. So I think Lawrence Weston's got a good reputation now, and I think they can see things do happen in Lawrence Weston. I think the turbine's a big part of that. To realise that is, first community-led wind turbine is just amazing. Part of the Climate Action Project, only 6 organisations in Bristol. We get a lot of speaker time at events talking about that project. So there's lots of projects that have kind of raised our profile, really.
Their attitude did change. The Cabinet Member for Housing telling developers if they want to come to this area and develop, then go and agree it with Ambition Lawrence Weston and the residents of Lawrence Weston first before we'd even entertain it. So that was quite empowering, because then we could have true negotiations with those developers who want to come. Now we've got a local lettings policy in Lawrence Weston that means every social and affordable home that gets built in Lawrence Weston, 50% of those must go to local people to address the local housing need and not just a city-wide need. So 50% will go and share with the city, but 50% will stay here for people in need that are living in Lawrence Weston now.
How did you manage to do that?
Again, through that compromise and negotiation that I was talking about earlier, and through now feeling that we had a voice and being confident, and sort of changing that balance of power between the local authority and the residents. The residents aren't here to serve the local authority is here to serve the residents. So really, it's just turning that back onto the basis that it should be.
I think they've got quite a lot of volunteers with different things. Down the allotment, that's going fabulous, that is down there. It's brought the community together. Yeah, it definitely made a difference. I think they'd be lost now, though.
The biggest thing that we learned from Big Local was the residents do have the answers to their problems, and they're a lot more wise than a lot of people give them credit for. So why would we change a formula or a strategy that's worked really well for us? So we'll carry on doing that, and it's quite a simple one. Listen to the residents, they know best. They've got the solutions to their problems. All you need to do is facilitate that, give them a helping hand to resolve those problems, find those solutions and deliver them. And life's a lot better for a lot of people.